Hi everyone, good evening. I'm so happy to be here with Nader Bastani, and I had the pleasure of working with him. Hey Nader! And I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your experience of working together and studying thinking into results. So,
Sure.
thank you, Nader. So, let's start with what made you want to start studying thinking into results program?
Well, I've always had an interest in personal development. It's just been sort of a habit, pastime for me. And so when you presented me with something more structured with an actual training syllabus, it was something that definitely was appealing for me. And it was in line with some of my interests.
Awesome, thank you. And also, so what was your favorite lesson, Nader, when you studied?
I think it was lesson 4 where it introduced the concept of the stick man, where your conscious mind and your subconscious mind manifests your results. And that was a very sort of aha moment for me because it brought in a lot of other concepts that I've studied and it kind of symbolized it very, very succinctly.
Yeah, I love that too. The stick person, right? How you really see other people and you see yourself as well, right? And then
Absolutely. Yeah, and not just yourself. You can see how other people think, and then you notice their results, and it's all interrelated. And that sort of symbology sort of simplifies this concept.
absolutely, and I love it too. And actually, Bob Proctor, when he found out this diagram, he decided he's gonna teach it to everybody, and it was the biggest discovery of his life too. Perfect. And so now that I know when we worked together, you had a lot of moments where you were manifesting stuff and aha moments. Would you like to share a few of those with us?
One of the big ones that I realized was with regards to some financing and stuff, and I kept sort of had a vision of what kind of outcome I wanted, and I kept pursuing this path, and I kept coming back as it wasn't working out the way I wanted it to, and at one point you had suggested that perhaps it's not the universe is not responding because that's not the path that you necessarily need to take, and start opening up the horizon and looking for other opportunities. And when you start doing that, then the desires that you have, those sort of ambitions, will come in another way. And so when I started looking elsewhere is exactly the time when sort of things changed for me in the way that I actually originally had wanted.
Nice. And you got to what you wanted?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. And I know you applied this program and your learnings to your work as well. Do you have an instance or a moment that in your personal life or your work life that happened for you that you want to share?
So one of the other ones that I really like was that reacting versus responding. And a lot of times I find myself when I'm about to react negatively, I just sort of take a moment, I pause and I reflect and I think to myself, am I responding to the situation? Am I coming up with a logical sequence of thoughts? Or is it impulsive? Is it sort of a primitive approach to solving this problem? And when I do that sort of reflection, just that momentary reflection, I find my results are drastically different. When I react, it's usually emotional and it's not really well thought of, and the outcome is not as desirable. But when I respond to an outcome, to a situation, the result is much better.
That's awesome. Yes, I know it's reacting versus responding. Yeah, it's you're in charge of your thinking, and you right away, you know, reevaluate what am I thinking. I love the fact that you said that, and I do that most of the time as well. Like go back and reflect, and I'm like, what am I doing? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And I'm sure it's helped you with the family and at
Oh
work.
yeah, absolutely. And some days you wake up in the morning and it's just sometimes it happens. You're just thinking negative thoughts, And as soon as that happens, right away I tell myself, no, you're getting into these negative thoughts. You need to change that. You need to shift gears, and you start just pound, like just rehearsing and reciting positive comments to yourself. And I find it's a natural pick me up. It's a self pick me up, because if you allow yourself to dwell in those negative thoughts, the whole day ends up becoming a negative sort of emotion. It's a negative energy state. And so I find that it's a sharp attack to those negative thoughts, and you say, no, I don't want those thoughts. That's not what I want today. I want these positive thoughts, because as soon as you start thinking positively, immediately your whole emotion and your mood changes.
That's awesome. And I love the fact that you said that you wake up in the morning and you put yourself in the state of positive thinking and being grateful for what you have and all that. Now, do you think studying this program together and getting the structure helped you to really get better at doing this?
Absolutely. So my big thing was that I would sort of search the internet and I would find really valuable resources. But the Bob Proctor program really kind of brings a lot of different schools of thought into one sort of course material. And it's laid out in a very logical sequence. So, you go from writing down your goals, and, goals that are like, that make you really excited. And then it sort of takes you down the path of, well, why haven't you achieved these goals? And it talks about the terror barrier, and what stops a lot of people. And one of the other comments I remember reading through the material was, the worst thing you could do is sort of tiptoe through life, and wait for death. And that's a very profound comment, because so many of us just tiptoe through life hoping nothing bad ever happens, but we never really achieve anything. We never really achieve big goals, or big sort of like gets you excited goals.
I love that. Thank you. And now I think working together, you realize how you can dream big and go after whatever you want and having the right attitude.
Yeah, absolutely. The sky's the limit. And I think that was another big thing was, we set low goals. We set achievable goals that we think are really monumental, but they're really not. And this program with Bob Proctor is it takes it to the next level.
Thank you. Awesome. Wow. I know I love this program and I love facilitating and teaching it to others. And I really was grateful, and I am grateful to have worked with you and so many other people. And what are your final parting words? Anything that you want to share with whoever's watching this video?
Absolutely. So if you're sort of not content with your career, family life, you're sort of on the fence, I highly encourage, just listen and read. Just read the first few chapters and envision how what you think truly is what you are and what comes to you in the universe. And if you can just shift that thinking just a slight bit, um, the results are amazing. And this program it'll help you. It's just like your fitness coach. It just gets you to the training room and gives you the right tools to get your brain into the right frame of mind.
I love it. Absolutely. Yes. And it's exactly like you said, it's like your fitness trainer. So with the trainer, you get the results much faster. You expedite the process and you can get
Absolutely.
the same results. There are videos and everything that we can watch. Perfect. And once again, I want to thank you for giving me the time to be here and do this interview. And also I want to thank our viewers, everyone who's watching. I hope you learned something from it and enjoyed as well. Love to all. Thank you, Nader.
You're
Bye-bye.
most welcome. Take care, Manas.
Oh, shoot.